This is Second Esdras, and this comes from the complete Apocrypha, published by Covenant Press of the Covenant Christian Coalition. Beginning in chapter 5, verse 14. Then I awaked, and an extreme trembling went through my body, and my mind was troubled, so that it fainted. So the angel that was come to talk with me held me, comforted me, and set me up upon my feet. And in the second night it came to pass that Pheeltiel, the captain of the people, came to me, saying, Where have you been? And why is your countenance sad? Or do you not know that Israel is committed to you in the land of their captivity? Get up then, and eat some bread, and forsake us not, as the shepherd that leaves the hands of cruel wolves. Then I said to him, Go your ways from me, and come not near me for 7 days, and then will you come to me. And he heard what I said, and went from me. And so I fasted 7 days, mourning and weeping, like as Uriel the angel commanded me. And after 7 days, so it was, that the thoughts of my heart were very grievous to me again. And my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to speak words before the Most High again, and said, O Lord, that bear rule of all the woods of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, you have chosen one vine. And of all the lands of the world, you have chosen you one country. And of all of the flowers of the world, you have chosen you one lily. And of all the depths of the sea, you have filled you one river. And of all built cities, you have hallowed Zion to yourself. And of all the fowls that are created, you have named you one dove. And of all the cattle that are made, you have provided you one sheep. And among all the multitudes of people, you have gotten you one people. And to this people, whom you loved, you gave a law that is approved of all. And now, O Lord, why have you given this one people over to many, and have dishonored the one root above others, and have scattered your only one among many? And they which did gainsay your promises have trodden them down that believed your covenants. If you do so much hate your people, they should be punished with your own hands. Now when I spoke these words, the angel that came to me the night before was sent to me, and he said to me, Hear me, and I will instruct you. Listen to me, and I will tell you more. And I said, Speak, my Lord. Then he said to me, You are so sore troubled in mind for Israel's sake. Do you that people better than he that made them? And I said, No, Lord. But in great grief have I spoken, for my reins torment me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High, and to seek out part of his judgment. And he said to me, You cannot. And I said, Why, Lord? Or for what purpose have I been born? Or why was not my mother's womb then my grave, that I may not see the travail of Jacob, and the wearisome toil of the stock of Israel? And he said to me, Number me those who are not yet come. Gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. open me the chambers that are closed, and bring me out the winds that in them are shut up, or show me the image of a voice. And then I will declare to you the travail that you have asked to see. And I said, O Lord that bear rule, you may know these things, but he that has not his dwelling with men, as for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof you ask me? Then he said to me, just as you can do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so can you not find out my judgment or the end of the love that I have promised to my people? And I said, but behold, O Lord, you have made the promise to those who will be in the end. And what will they do that have been done before us? Or we that be now, or those who will come after us? And he said to me, I will liken my judgment to a ring. Like as there is no slackness of those who are last, even so there is no swiftness of those who be first. So I answered him and said, could you not make them to be at once that have been made, and that be now, and that are still to come, that you might show judgment sooner? Then he answered me and said, the creature may not hasten above the Creator, neither may the world hold them at once that will be created therein. And I said, have you said to your servant that you will make them alive at once, the creature that you have created? If therefore they will be alive at once, and the creature will sustain them, even so it might now also support them to be present at once. And he said to me, ask the womb of a woman and say to her, if you bring out 10 children, why do you do it several times? Pray instead to bring out 10 children at once. And I said, she can't, because she must do it by a distance of time. Then he said to me, even so, I have given the womb of the earth to those that be sown therein in their several times. For like as a young child may not bring out, neither she that is grown old bring out any more. Even so I have disposed the world which I created. And I asked and said, seeing you have now showed me the way, I will speak before you. Is our mother, of whom you have told me, still young, or does she draw near to age? He answered me and said, ask a woman that bears children, and she will tell you. Say to her, why are they not they whom you have now brought out, like those who were before, but less of stature? And she also will answer you, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and those who are born in the time of age, when the womb fails, are otherwise. Consider therefore you also, how that you are less in stature than those who were before you. And so are those who come after you less than you, as born of the creature which now begins to be old, and is past the strength of youth. Then I said, Lord, I implore you, if I have found favor in your sight, show me your servant by whom you visit your creature. And he said to me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the portals of the world were fixed, or ever the gatherings of the winds blew, before the voices of the thunder sounded, and before the flashes of lightning shone, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the powers of the earthquake were established, before the innumerable army of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the footstool of Zion was established, and before the present years were sought out, and or ever the imaginations of those who now sin were estranged, before they were sealed, that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. And as by me also they will be ended, and by none other. Then I answered and said, what will be the parting asunder of the times? Or when will the end of the first and the beginning of that follows? And he said to me, from Abraham to Abraham, inasmuch as Jacob and Esau were born of him, for Jacob's hand held the heel of Esau from the beginning. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. The beginning of a man is his hand, and the end of a man is his heel. Between the heel and the hand seek you nothing else, Esdras. I answered then and said, O Lord, that bear rule, if I have found favor in your sight, I implore you, show your servant the end of your signs, whereof you showed me part the last night. So he answered me and said to me, stand up upon your feet, and you will hear a mighty sounding voice. And if the place you stand on is greatly moved, when it speaks, be ye not afraid, for the word is of the end, and the foundations of the earth will understand that the speech is of them. They will tremble and be moved, for they know that their end must be changed. And it happened that when I heard it, I stood up upon my feet and listened, and behold, there was a voice that spoke, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come, and it will be that when I draw near to visit those who dwell upon the earth, and when I will make inquisition of those who have done hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion will be fulfilled, and when the seal will be set upon the earth that is to pass away, then I will show these signs. The books will be opened before the firmament, and all will see together. And the children of a year old will speak with their voices. The women with child will bring out untimely children at 3 or 4 months, and they will live and dance. And suddenly will the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses will suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet will give a sound, which when every man hears, they will be suddenly afraid. At that time will friends make war against each other like enemies, and the earth will stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the springs will not run. And it will be that whatever remains after all these things that I have told you of, he will be saved and will see my salvation and the end of my world. And they will see that men have been taken up who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants will be changed and turned into another meaning. For evil will be blotted out, and deceit will be quenched, and faith will flourish, and corruption will be overcome, and the truth which has been so long without fruit, will be declared. And when he talked with me, behold, by little and little the place I stood on rocked to and fro. And he said to me, these things I came to show you this night. If therefore you will pray again and fast 7 days more, I will tell you greater things than these. For your voice has surely been heard before the Most High. For the Mighty has seen your righteous dealing. He has seen previously also your chastity, which you have had ever since your youth. And therefore he has sent me to you to show you all these things, and to say to you, be of good comfort, and fear not. And be not hasty in regard of the former times, to think vain things, that you may not hasten in the latter times. And it came to pass after this, that I wept again, and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill the 3 weeks which he told me. And in the 8th night was my heart vexed within me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And I said, O Lord of truth, you spoke at the beginning of creation upon the first day, and said this, let heaven and earth be made. And your word perfected the work. And then the Spirit hovering, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet. Then command you a ray of light to be brought out of your treasures, that then your works might appear. Upon the 2nd day again, you made the spirit of the firmament and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a division between the waters, that the one part might go up and the other remain beneath. Upon the 3rd day you did command that the waters should be gathered together in the 7th part of the earth. 6 parts did you dry up and keep them, to the intent that of these some, being both planted and tilled, might serve before you. For as soon as your word went out, the work was done. For immediately there came out great and innumerable fruit, and manifold pleasures for the taste, and flowers of intimidable color, and odors of most exquisite smell. And this was done the 3rd day. Upon the 4th day, you commanded that the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in their order, and gave them a charge to do service to man that was to be made. Upon the 5th day, you said to the 7th part, where the water was gathered together, that it should bring out living creatures, fowls and fishes. And so it came to pass, that the mute water and without life brought out living things, as it was told, that the peoples might therefore praise your wondrous works. Then did you preserve 2 living creatures, the one you called Behemoth, and the other you called Leviathan. And you did separate the one from the other. For the 7th part, namely, where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. To Behemoth you gave 1 part, which was dried up on the 3rd day, that he would dwell in it, wherein are 1,000 hills. But to Leviathan you gave the 7th part, namely the moist, and you have kept them to be devoured, of whom you will and when. But upon the 6th day you gave commandment to the earth, that it should bring out before you cattle, beasts, and creeping things. And over these Adam, whom you ordained Lord over all the works that you have made, of him come we all, the people whom you have chosen. All this have I spoken before you, O Lord, because you have said that for our sakes you made this world. And as for other nations, which also come of Adam, you have said that they are nothing, and are like to spittle. And you have likened the abundance of them to a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold these nations, which are reputed as nothing, be lords over us and devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your only begotten, and your fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess for an inheritance our world? How long will this endure? And when I made an end of speaking these words, there was sent to me an angel, which had been sent to me the night before. And he said to me, Get up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, Speak, my Lord. Then he said to me, There is a sea set in a wide place, that it might be broad and vast. But the entrance thereof will be set in a narrow place, so as to be like a river. Whoso then should desire to go into the sea to look upon it, or to rule it, if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Another thing also, there is a city built and set in a plain country, and full of all good things. But the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, having a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And there is only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be but one man go there at once. If this city now be given to a man for an inheritance, if the heir pass not the danger before him, how will he receive his inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. Then he said to me, Even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of the world made narrow and sorrowful and toilsome. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and charged with great toils. For the entrances of the greater world are wide and sure, and bring out fruit of immortality. If then those who live enter not these straits and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why do you disquiet yourself, seeing you but are a corruptible man? And why are you moved, whereas you are but a mortal? And why have you not considered in your mind that which is to come, rather than that which is present? Then I answered and said, O Lord, that bear rule, behold, you have ordained in your law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. The righteous therefore will suffer strait things, and hope for the wide. But those who have done wickedly have suffered the strait things, and yet will not see the wide. And he said to me, You are not a judge above God, neither have you understanding above the Most High. Yes, rather let many that now be perished, than that the law of God which is set before them be despised. For God strictly commanded such as came, even as they came, what they should do to live, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they who were not obedient to him, but spoke against him, and imagined for themselves vain things, and framed cunning plans of wickedness, and said moreover of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. But they despised his law, and denied his covenants. They have not been faithful to his statutes, and have not performed his works. Therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. For behold, the time will come, and it will be, when these signs of which I told you before will come to pass, that the bride will appear, even the city coming out, and she will be seen that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whoever is delivered from the previously mentioned evils will see my wonders. For my Son, the Christ, will be revealed with those that be with him, and will rejoice with those who remain 400 years. After these years will my Son, the Christ, die for those who, and all that have the breath of life. And the world will be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the first beginning, so that no man will remain. And after 7 days the world that yet awakens not will be raised up, and that will die that is corruptible. And the earth will restore those that are asleep in her, and so will the dust those that dwell therein in silence. And the secret places will deliver those souls that were committed to them. And the Most High will be revealed upon the seat of judgment, and compassion will pass away. And passion and patience will be withdrawn. But judgment only will remain. Truth will stand, and faith will wax strong. And the work will follow, and the reward will be showed, and the good deeds will awake, and wicked deeds will not sleep. And the pit of torment will appear, and near it will be the place of rest. And the furnace will be showed, and near it the paradise of delight. And then will the Most High say to the nations that are raised from the dead, see you and understand whom you have denied, or whom you have not served, and whose commandments you have despised. Look on this side and on that. Here is delight and rest, and there fire and torments. This will he speak to them in the day of judgment. This is a day that has neither sun, nor moon, nor stars, neither cloud, nor thunder, nor lightning, neither wind, nor water, nor air, neither darkness, nor evening, nor morning, neither summer, nor spring, nor heat, nor winter, neither frost, nor cold, nor hail, nor rain, nor dew, neither noon, nor night, nor dawn, neither shining, nor brightness, nor light, save only the splendor of the glory of the Most High, whereby all will see the things that are set before them. For it will endure as it were a week of years. This is my judgment and the ordinance thereof. But to you only have I shown these things. And I answered him, I said even then, O Lord, and I say now, blessed are those who are now alive and keep the statutes ordained of you. But as touching them for whom my prayer was made, what will I say? For who is there of those who are alive that has not sinned? And who of the sons of men that have not transgressed your covenant? And now I see that the world to come will bring delight to few, but torments to many. For an evil heart has grown up in us, which has led us astray from these statutes, and has brought us into corruption and into the ways of death, has showed us the paths of perdition, and removed us far from life, and that not only a few, but well near all that have been created. And he answered me and said, Listen to me, and I will instruct you, and I will admonish you yet again. For this cause the Most High has not made one world, but two. For whereas you have said that the just are not many, but few, and the ungodly abound, hear the answer thereto. If you have exceedingly few choice stones, will you set for you near them according to the number of things of lead and clay? And I said, Lord, how will this be? And he said to me, Not only this, but ask the earth, and she will tell you. Entreat her, and she will declare to you. For you will say to her, You bring out gold and silver and brass and iron also, and lead and clay. But silver is more abundant than gold, and brass than silver, and iron than brass, lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge you therefore which things are precious and to be desired, what is abundant or what is rare. And I said, O Lord, that bear rule, that which is plentiful is of less worth, for that which is more rare is more precious. And he answered me and said, Weigh within yourself the things that you have thought. For he that has what is hard to get rejoices over him that has what is plentiful. So also is the judgment which I have promised. For I will rejoice over the few that will be saved, inasmuch as these are those who have made my glory now to prevail, and of whom my name is now named. And I will not grieve over the multitude of those who perish. For these are those who are now like to vapor, and are become as flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly, and are quenched. And I answered and said, O you earth, why have you brought out, if the mind is made out of dust, like as all other created things? For it were better that the dust itself had been unborn, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us, and by reason of this we are tormented, because we perish and know it. Let the race of men lament, and the beasts of the field be glad. Let all that are born lament, and let the four-footed beasts and the cattle rejoice. For it is far better with them than with us. For they look not for judgment, neither do they know of the torments or of salvation promised to them after death. For what does it profit us that we that will be preserved alive yet be afflicted with torment? For all that are born are defiled with iniquities, and are full of sins and laden with offenses. And if after death we were not to come into judgment, perhaps it had not been better for us. And he answered me and said, When the Most High made the world, and Adam and all those who came of him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to judgment. And now understand from your own words, for you have said that the mind grows with us. They therefore that dwell upon the earth will be tormented for this reason, that having understanding, they have done iniquity, and receiving commandments, have not kept them, and have obtained a law they dealt unfaithfully with that which they received. What then will they have to say in the judgment, or how will they answer in the last times? For how great a time has the Most High been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sakes, but because of the times which he has foreordained. And I answered and said, If I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, show this also to your servant, whether after death, even now, when every one of us gives up his soul, we will be kept in rest until those time come, in which you will renew the creation, or whether we will be tormented immediately. And he answered me and said, I will show you this alone, but join not yourself with those who are scorners, nor count yourself with those who are tormented. For you have a treasure of good works laid up with the Most High, but it will not be shown you until the last times. For concerning death, the teaching is, when the determinate sentence has gone out from the Most High that a man should die, as the spirit leaves the body to return again to him who gave it, it adores the glory of the Most High first of all. And if it be one of those that have been scorners and have not kept the way of the Most High, and that have despised his law, and that hate those who fear God, these spirits will not enter into habitations, but will wander and be in torments immediately, ever grieving and sad in 7 ways. The first way, because they have despised the law of the Most High. The second way, because they can't now make a good returning that they may live. The third way, they will see the reward laid up for those who have believed the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they will consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they will see the dwelling places of the others guarded by angels with great quietness. The sixth way, they will see how immediately some of them will pass into torment. The seventh way, which is more grievous than all the aforesaid ways, because they will pine away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and will be withered up by fears, seeing the glory of the Most High before whom they have sinned while living, and before whom will be judged in the last times. Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High, when they will be separated from the corruptible vessel. In the time that they lived therein, they painfully served the Most High, and were in jeopardy every hour, that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Here then is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they will see with great joy the glory of him who takes them up, for they will have rest in 7 orders. The first order, because they have labored with great effort to overcome the evil thought which was fashioned together with them, that it might not lead them astray from life into death. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander, and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness which he that fashioned them bears concerning them, that while they lived, they kept the law which was given them in trust. The fourth order, they understand the rest which, being gathered in their chambers, they now enjoy with great quietness, guarded by angels, and the glory that awaits them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice, seeing how they have now escaped from that which is corruptible, and how they will inherit that which is to come. While they see moreover the narrowness and the painfulness from which they have been delivered, and the large room which they will receive with joy and immortality. The sixth order, when it is showed to them how their face will shine as the sun, and how they will be made like the light of the stars, being from now on incorruptible. The seventh order, which is greater than all the previous orders, because they will rejoice with confidence, and because they will be bold without confusion, and will be glad without fear, for they hasten to behold the face of him whom in their lifetime they served, and from whom they will receive their reward in glory. This is the order of the souls of the just, as from now on is announced to them, and announced are the ways of torture, which those who would not give heed will suffer from now on.